Next we have Julia Quintanar, who's been coming off and on, I think, at Tumblewords for maybe 5 years or more. And there are several in the group that kind of force those of us who were born of gringo parents to, that doesn't mean we're gringo, to try and use Spanish in our poetry, and I love it what she does with the. Are you doing mostly Spanish pieces today?
No, it's English. I wasn't sure.
So it says here that Julia Quintanar has a BS in computer science and is a bilingual writer of poetry, short stories from El Paso. She says that, I have no way to verify it. So. That's a gigabyte, come on. Her poetry is featured in Rincón Bohemio's chapbooks, Calaveras Fronterizas, Que Siga el Entierro, and Julia is a regular participant in the Tumblewords, I said that already, in the Tumblewords Writing Project. Julia Quintanar, thank you.
A grief visit. From the corner of my eye, I could see her barge right in, looking around for me. I knew grief and her tricks. She saw the picture of my father that had been pulled from the family album. Look at the picture, she purred. Grief, confident of the effect it would have on me. Remember your father and how much you miss him. Don't you feel sad? Don't you feel like crying? Grief checked my eyes out for moisture. I glared back angrily. Grief was so shocked, her hat fell off. Death is more polite than you, I shot at Grief. She just comes once for the person, and not you. You come over every single time I think of my dear ones that are gone. I can't even enjoy the memories that they left for me. You find the spot where they went, you find the spot where they were in my heart and recut, so it bleeds. You drink that blood and my tears as well. Aren't you full yet? Grief adjusted her head and tried to cut in, but I continued my rant. Grief, you had a feast with me during the early days. You helped me understand the loss, but now you're being bad. I continued. Undaunted, Grief tried again. Ignoring what I said, look at your father, she said. She spoke a bit irritated. She forced my head with both her hands toward the picture. Don't you miss him? Don't you love him? He gave you so much. Don't you want one more day with him? Now are you crying? No, I'm not crying. I'm not going to drown in me. The Day of the Dead is not about me. His death is not about me. Okay, it's about him. Besides, you're being unfair to him, implying that he could give me anything or be like he used to be. He can't. Not one more day, not one more moment, not one more memory. Stop trying to get me to want more. He gave me all he could. I put the black and white picture in a frame and sat it on the tribute altar. Everything on the altar was overflowing with lively color, texture, and flavor. Grief wrapped herself around me like a python and moaned, poor child, you will never see your father again. It's so sad. Are you a little sad about that? Maybe a little? Is that a tear I see? I pulled free and threw a volley back at Grief. Are you sure I will never see him? Some people believe in incarnation. Some people believe in heaven. Are you sure of never? Are you sure it is impossible? Are you absolutely sure? And can you prove it? I said sharply. No, I'm not really sure. And as far as proving it, I can't prove it. I don't think anybody can prove it, pondered Grief, unaccustomed to being questioned. I tried to ask Death about it, but she said it was beyond my comprehension. She said I'm too short-sighted. Katrina always puts on airs. Grief said, remembering how Death never answered her questions. Grief sat down and tried to think of what else to try. It's time for you to leave, I said forcefully, escorting Grief out the door. My guests are coming soon. Besides, my father would want me to be happy about him and remember him. Today I will honor him on the Day of the Dead by telling his stories. He was a wonderful father and he loved me, so go. I'll be back, said Grief, threatening after she caught her step. I'll be ready, wiping my hands. Next time Grief shows up, it'll be even a shorter visit.
Nice.